So Balaji, time to put you on the hot seat. Two aspects that I would like you to cover, right? One is what Kiran talked about, the business viability. And then the second part of it is what Ankit just mentioned, that it doesn't, if you build it, they're not going to come. There has to be some level of work that has to go in terms of services, education, that's actually going to show them the relevance and therefore drive the usage. Tell us what you think about both.
India is a mobile-first country from a communications perspective, and therefore telecom operators have a significant role to play in visualizing and in actualizing the Digital India vision. A couple of things to look at. You talked about last mile. There is a need to have future-fit policy. I think that's a start point. We had passive infrastructure. You saw how that helped to kind of roll out affordable services across the country. Need for spectrum sharing, need for active sharing are things that will go a long way. Clearly, assuming that we get to 250,000 villages down this NOFN project, there's still 400,000 villages that need to get connectivity. Passive is allowed. If active and spectrum sharing is allowed, you can make sure that affordability is no longer an issue. Second is around investments. Clearly, broad investments for operators like us go into spectrum and go into network. There needs to be a balance, all for auction-based resource allocation, including spectrum, but all of them put together will ensure there's a fair investment, allowing more to be invested into networks, because without networks, no matter you have the spectrum, you don't have any, the information highways are not laid out. Innovation, I think Kiran rightly talked about it's about ecosystem. With the Aadhaar-based application, using things around M-education, tools that are available today, and M-health, and devices that are much cheaper today than they were 5 or 6 years ago, it is possible to create a very vibrant ecosystem around this. And so while we talk about future-fit policies, while we talk about access being laid out, it's time that we start to invest in building the ecosystem.
So far, we've all talked about the NOFN, and rightly so. It is at the heart of the Broadband Highway Initiative. But Purushottam, I'll ask you the most difficult question. Is there anything beyond the NOFN that we need to look at? Because the NOFN is still very focused on the villages, which is extremely important. But what about the rest? What else has to be done?
In terms of NOFN scope, the scope says, okay, we have to roll out incremental fiber from block to panchayat. But look at from the reality, from the usage point of view. If I am a healthcare service provider, I'm sitting in Delhi and I want to provide services in villages and maybe in gram panchayats. The challenge is that as per today's scope, I may have to negotiate with maybe say 10, 15 different agencies to kind of get each piece sorted out. But even if we build it, at some point of time, if we don't complete end to end, it's not going to be providing services.
Absolutely.
So that's one big thing which I want to bring to the table. The other thing which I want to, even like Balaji's to a point of view on services, I think when we are looking at services, we should be thinking about what will be the form of services in terms of whether it's education, whether in terms of healthcare or banking. It's more or less today is moving towards video. And it will be naive to visualize that without video, these services will be run on maybe a thought process that it will be having, say, 100 Mbps to a panchayat level, which can have maybe 500 homes, or it can have 10,000 homes also, depending on the size. But it should not be a case where we build a road and by the time the road comes up, we are already choked. So we should be thinking about that what will be the form and shape of these services as and when they actually come up.
If you could have, if each of you could have an hour with the Prime Minister, and you had the option of telling him this is one thing that has to change or needs to be looked at differently in order for this project to be successful, what is the thing what is the one most important thing in your mind?
I think more than one panelist spoke about it. Innovation.
Yes.
It's a new technology. There are new and differing solutions in a diverse country. We need to look at what we need to do, and we need to keep it open. Just as you have highways, what you need is Pagdandis. Now, Pagdandi is not just a footpath, which is a literal translation, but it's a path of need. So it's not supply side, it's the need side from the user. And I think we've got to look at that when we talk of these things of last mile and what needs to be done and business plans and viability. What is it that the user really needs?
It's great. Purushottam, your one wish.
So I think my wish would be that considering that we are working on a dream project which perhaps is going to be delivering aspirations of so many, the remaining 70% of the population which is still not connected. The kind of network that we are visualizing on an end-to-end basis, the kind of skill sets which will be required, one, to kind of build this network, maybe operate this network, and further leveraging this network in terms of digital assets is huge. That particular effort, somehow people have still not visualized, and it needs a lot of focus and effort, whether it is in terms of universities or institutions, or we as maybe perhaps industries like us, we have been running certification programs and training programs. That's something which is going to become the fundamental. Otherwise, creating an asset and not really leveraging it by the people will be an asset not fully utilized.
Balaji?
So I think creating information highways, we talked about innovation, awareness, handling aspirations, require a lot of investments. The vision is great. We've got good project management skills, but I think the strategic architecture that links the two is very critical. One that balances the requirements of fiscal deficit versus leaving enough investment on the ground. Just balancing that entire thing is very critical, because on a national mission like this, you will make some small compromises of objectives, of sub-objectives, as long as the bigger goal is being met.
Mr. Agarwal, I'm going to give you the last word. So, Ankit, very quickly, your one wish or one key recommendation.
I think my key wish would be to trust the private sector to make it happen, to empower us, and more than anything, hold us accountable for making this project happen. There are 3 or 4 key benefits of this. I think A, the private sector will be able to commit to an accelerated time scale. B, we'll be able to bring up our own innovative ways around the financing. We'll be able to bring around the expertise that we've talked about in deploying these networks, not just in India, but in other geographies. And also, ultimately, the government is sharing the risk with the private sector. So through these parts, you're enabling a competition amongst the private sector to make it happen in the best way possible, in the best time scale, and in the best cost. And the last part I would say is that don't just ask the private sector to build it, hold them accountable to deliver that 100 Mbps to the panchayat.
Yeah.
Also hold them accountable to maintain that network. So I think that is really the solution which will help us. And as you're saying, to make this network last for 20 years, 30 years, you need this kind of support from the private sector to build such a network.
Mr. Agarwal, I think my ask to you would be, if there's one thing that you would like to tell the industry, as this is the one thing you guys need to do different, or you will have to do more of, what is it that you would advise?
I think the industry should have a more focus and collaborative effort to come forward for this particular project. We have been interacting industry on various footings for seeing that how to expedite this project. We divide it into 2 parts. Let the infrastructure be created with USOF, either in a turnkey basis or on a fragmented basis, one of the 2 styles of doing this project, and the services portion can be kept separate. On the services front, I think so this model, I feel currently is one which is more acceptable within the system because of the domain expertise of different groups in the industry on one sector and on the other sector. So this is what we are trying to address and see that how are we able to come on this one. And the pilots of this nature will give us a lot of learnings for a deployment, which is also part of the gun, which will be a large scale deployment across. Second thing which I feel that having worked in fiber optics for over a large span of years, that this technology needs a little more focus, where fiber is laid by multiple people today, PSUs, private sector, everybody, and there is a requirement if suppose a ISP or anybody needs a fiber today to reach from a district to a gram panchayat, it is virtually very difficult for him to lease that fiber. Some of the people will not lease the fiber, and if they lease it, it will be at an exorbitant cost. Why not we have a setup in the country where the fiber is owned by one body, and that body is able to, see, they will install it, maintain it, and as per the requirements are able to lease out those fibers. So this is what I feel.
That's excellent, and it's really refreshing to hear very specific and practical recommendations
Yeah.
that you've put forward. I'm sure that's something we'll all consider. We were discussing what can be done rather than debating the problem again and again. So thank you all, and thank you to the audience for being here.